Hey, so recently I've been thinking about how there's three Marvel films that I constantly hear on social media, on YouTube, that is really hated or just underappreciated, I think. And those three are Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Multiverse of Madness. Now, I'm not gonna act like if I've loved everything that Marvel has done since Endgame, but I do think those three films are a little underappreciated. When I saw all three of those, I remember liking them all. I remember thinking Shang-Chi was really fun. I remember thinking The Eternals was a little slow towards the end, but a really good movie. And Multiverse of Madness, I remember being a little jarred by Sam Raimi's kind of horror take on it, but still really liking it. But I haven't seen those three films since the theater. And recently I've been thinking about these films, and I just keep thinking, like, was there something I missed, or perhaps I was too blinded by the hype of Endgame, and I just felt like these were pretty good, and I was just it was copium, as they say. So I haven't seen them since the theater, as I said. So I decided to watch them this weekend. I gotta say, I really, really liked all three of them. Still, in fact, maybe I liked them more than my initial reactions in the theater when they came out. This will probably be a long video, so I think I'll cut this up into three parts. So, starting off with Shang-Chi. I thought that movie was really fun, really funny. The comedy's pretty on point. Some jokes don't land. My personal preference isn't MCU humor. Like, I do like the whole Zack Snyder take. I do like a little bit more serious. But this is the MCU flavor, and I'm used to it, and I'm fine with it. And it works a lot of the time. So I think Shang-Chi does a great job with the humor. And the combat is really great. It could, I guess you could say, it could be better. There's no combat in this film that blows me away, for sure, in terms of hand to hand. But it's all great. It's not super crazy cuts, close ups, where you just feel like, what's happening? This is stunt people. Like, I do think the action is immersive and it's really good. And I think Shang-Chi as a character, he's really good. Aquafina's character, really funny, and just this movie really expands the MCU world in a good way, and it just adds to it. It doesn't change anything; it just adds to it, and it's really good, really entertaining. The dad as the villain, I think, is really compelling, and oh, that opening sequence with the dad, so sick, so epic. I really like it. And I remember I'm a big anime fan, and I remember coming away from this movie thinking like this movie has a lot of anime inspiration. And I don't know if it was I don't know if it was me reading into it, but towards the end you see some foxes with a bunch of tails, and I remember thinking that reminds me a lot of Naruto, the nine-tailed fox. And lo and behold, that director is in the talks or is gonna create a Naruto live action series. So I really hope that happens because I think he would do a great job. I think he understands anime, and I think the translation into live action it works really well. The beginning scene with the dad fighting the mom when they meet, there's like a scene of them just fighting, and then it's slow motion. It cuts to them smiling at each other, and I think it's kind of cringe if you're not into anime. But as a big anime fan, I think it's just a perfect live action take on those types of things that happen in anime. And yeah, I just think the movie is a great addition to the MCU, and I think it's slept on. So, moving on.
跟我讲话礼貌点。